It's a picture straight off an Americana postcard. Welcome to a slice of the good life. Racing at ORP is as blue collar as it gets, and the Truck Series is dirt under your fingernails at its best. NASCAR is in town. Peters is primed while Sauter has been sailing. Almirola is almost within reach, but for now, Bodine is the best. But he's back. Kyle Busch has missed the last 2 races. He's back in the field for the first time in 6 weeks. This one's gonna be good. 2 different racetracks, each sitting just outside downtown Indianapolis. One is big and flashy, the other just a short drive west is small but scrappy. Both are steeped in tradition. The distance between the 2 is only 10 miles, but the path a driver has to take to get from one to the other can literally take years. This is The Setup, presented by Polaris. Welcome to The Setup. Hello, everyone. I'm Krista Voda, and across America, race fans are gathered at their own short track as we speak. But here outside Indianapolis, things are no different. I mean, sure, the exposure's a little bit bigger, but the bragging rights are the same. This is a Friday night way of life, and you are getting a front row seat. You know, looking back at last week, someone asked me if anything big happened outside St. Louis. I said, not really. I mean, hot dog prices may have gone up. Come on, are you kidding me? We were racing in over 100-degree temperatures. The power went out. The trucks were moved to Saturday afternoon. And oh yeah, Saturday night, a feud was reignited. But earlier that day, something else was reignited. His name was Kevin Harvick.
Just as the Truck Series season was heating up, so was the city of St. Louis.
Just before the drivers were to climb into their trucks and fire the engines, as the sun went down, the lights would never come on.
There is no power currently to the racetrack, so here we sit primarily in the dark.
With the power outages having no end in sight, NASCAR would call it a night and await a Saturday afternoon shootout.
Crowd is on their feet as Kevin Harvick brings the field to the stripe. He will get the jump over James Bush.
A lot of racing going on. 160 laps here, and it looks like this is the last lap.
Harvick and Hornaday set a blistering pace out front for KHI.
Hornaday's on a roll.
Hornaday moving up quickly.
I think he likes his truck.
The ThorSport guys are wondering, how do we get up there and battle with Kevin Harvick Incorporated? Kevin Harvick checking out on the rest of the field.
Something wrong with Hornaday's truck. What's wrong with it?
Hornaday's wiggling the truck.
Our left rear shock, I don't know. Coming in, I have to. Hit this time, hit.
The shock came off the left rear for Hornaday. They just radioed in. He will make a pit stop.
There, the hood is up on the 33. They're assessing the damage.
Shut the hood, let's go around. Shut the hood, we'll go around.
As the temperatures rose on Saturday, so did the action.
Ryan Sieg actually lost a tire upon entry into turn number 1.
Got a crash.
Ricky Carmichael around and backs it into the outside wall.
Jeffrey Earnhardt had nowhere to go as Carmichael came down the banking.
Look at the damage on that 6 truck. That's hard contact.
We made our way up to the top 10, and we had a penalty on pit road. It's a bummer because we had a good points day going and we worked our way up a couple times.
They're up on the pit wall, about ready to bring him back. He says it smells like a gear might be burning up as well.
Smoke behind the 17 of Timothy Peters.
Remember, his teammate had engine problems, the 7 of Justin Lofton.
There's enough oil coming out of that thing. He might not be able to get through the turn.
The 2 of Kevin Harvick dominant at Gateway.
Timothy Peters does nurse that thing along into the 6th spot.
Kevin Harvick beat the heat and smoked the competition for win number 3 of 2010.
I feel okay. I'm just so nervous about moving somewhere that I shouldn't and catching my neck. So it felt a lot better the hotter it got in there, so that was a good thing.
Taking a look at the point standings, Jason White moves back into the top 10 with the trouble. Hornaday falls 3 positions out of the top 5. Bodine grows his lead over Eric Almirola by 13. But a driver who has been moving up the charts and has also been fast here today is with Ray.
No question about it, Johnny Sauter had the fastest truck in practice. 13 looked good all day, but what happened in qualifying?
Not really sure what the deal is. We just trying some stuff, I guess, and needless to say, we were really good in practice, and nobody really knows what to expect. Obviously, as hot as it was today, everybody's kind of slipping, sliding around, and whatnot. So just got to make sure we make the proper adjustments all night on our Seal Master curb record Chevy and have solid pit stops to see where we shake out at the end of this.
I have a feeling that 2004 one that got away is still fresh in the memory, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's always tough to swallow when you dominate a race and come up short at the end. So especially on the last lap and the way that everything shaked out. But that's why it's racing, and that's why it's exciting, especially at a place like ORP here down to the last lap. I mean, you just never know what's going to happen. So obviously one of my favorite racetracks, and thoroughly enjoy racing here. So just got to make sure we have a solid effort tonight and see what happens.
Johnny Sauter rolls off 9th tonight at ORP.
And Ray, his teammate, has been impressive of late as well. Matt Crafton, back-to-back top fives, a solid qualifying run here tonight. So what is the balance of patience and aggression at this short track?
He's got to be there at the end, is the biggest thing. I think we have a pretty good race truck. We've disciplined ourselves. In the past, we've always worked on having a really good truck during the day, and it's killed us at night because we've always gotten tight. But I think we've got a pretty good truck for tonight. Spinard Chevy, it'll be up front at the end of the night. Just be patient and just be there at the end. Put ourselves in position at the end to win this thing. So it'll be fun. I love short track racing.
His numbers here are impressive. Crafton starting 4th tonight. Krista?
All right, thanks, Adam. Yeah, both ThorSport trucks very good last week, and while St. Louis could have been the gateway to the championship for ThorSport, another organization did not have and hasn't had that sort of continuity. What a tale of two outcomes it was for Kevin Harvick Incorporated.
Every time Kevin Harvick shows up at the racetrack with a brand new truck, he is a threat to win. 5 of his last 6 debuts of new chassis have gone to victory lane when Kevin's driving them.
Kevin Harvick is trying to stomp the field right here.
Kevin Harvick's lead gets even larger. This truck has just been on rails all day.
Kevin Harvick marching his way to the front.
Harvick going for 5 in a row. It's just a nice Saturday afternoon drive for the driver of the two.
Ricky Carmichael, all he does is just nudge him, and it turns Ron into the outside wall.
The truck just snapped around on him as he entered turn number 3.
This is one team who really couldn't afford another bad finish.
The 33 of Ron Hornaday just went into the garage area.
A lot of work to be done if they hope to get Hornaday back out on the racetrack.
No person has ever gone on to win the championship if they post 3 finishes of 30th or worse. Well, there's no question about it. If you want to pick a track where Ron Hornaday could turn things around, it's ORP. 3 wins at this track, Ron, including 2 of your last 3 races. What makes you and this team so good at this racetrack?
People like you give me a little more energy. What'd you say? I don't have a chance?
I said you're out of the championship. You're out.
Yeah, I heard that, and I didn't comment on it because I think in 2007 we were 269 or 270 behind. So if we can turn it around tonight, Ernie Cope and all the guys did a great job in the Georgia Boot Chevrolet. So hopefully we can change it around. We just get that monkey off our back, and my wife bought our dog a monkey, and he really tore the heck out of it, so hopefully that monkey's off our back.
All right, Adam, I think the time has come. Watch for that 33. He's going to be tough tonight.
5 times the winner here at O'Reilly Raceway Park has started on the pole. Timothy Peters won his 2nd career pole earlier today, so how do you manage this race tonight starting out front?
Main thing is just keep up with the way the track's going to change. Just try to keep our Wisp metal cutting tools, Toyota Tundra, rotating in the center where we can keep that drive off, make the straightaway as long as we can. But what a great feeling. Jeff Hensley and everybody on this Red Horse Racing team, it's just an honor to work with them. And our 2nd career pole, I can't believe it, here at Indy with all the history that's here. So looking forward to the night. Hopefully we can better our finish as well like we did our start.
And Timothy Peters told us earlier today he will choose the outside lane at the start of the race.
All right, that'll be fun to watch. Coming up, we hit the alleys and gutters with Jeff Gordon. But don't worry, it's all for a good cause. Routines to your favorite Truck Series drivers practice? Well, we will ask them. And get to know the guy who's trying to chase down this year's rookie title. We'll take you beyond the yellow stripe when the setup from ORP returns. The setup is presented by Polaris, the hardest working, smoothest riding off-road vehicles, now at your local dealer. And brought to you in part by Camping World. Visit Camping World for all of your truck, tire, and towing needs. One of the coolest things about this track, the Turn 1 hillside. Fans show up first thing in the morning to stake their claim on this real estate. One of the first to mark their territory was actually our broadcast director's wife, Melissa. Roger is a local, so no surprise to see his family here on this hill. After all, this vantage point is what makes this track so unique. Welcome back to O'Reilly Raceway Park. You know, some of those same fans may have been sitting on that hillside 20 years ago to watch a young man named Jeff Gordon race midget cars here. Jeff Gordon continues to give back to the Indianapolis area by hosting a bowling tournament each year that benefits the Riley Children's Hospital. Once again, our speed crew was there.
This is the 9th annual Jeff Gordon Charity Bowling Tournament. We benefit Riley Hospital for Children, which is a local hospital here in Indianapolis. It's doing some of the best work, especially when it comes to cancer treatment as well as cancer research. So the funds tonight are going to go towards Jeff Gordon Children's Foundation Pediatric Children's Research Fund. So we're going to have a lot of fun and raise a lot of money for a great cause.
Couldn't be any worse.
All the magic.
This is a really neat deal. Obviously, you know, for all the children, for Jeff to put this deal on for the Riley Children's Hospital is a pretty neat deal. Obviously, you can see a heck of a turnout behind us, and everybody's having a good time. And obviously, whenever we get all the racers together for a good cause, it's a lot of fun.
Todd Bodine was watching that feature, said he couldn't believe I got a strike. And I can't believe you qualified 6th on a short track. How about that?
Yeah, that's pretty good for us for sure. We thought we had a decent truck, and talking to people after the second practice, they basically threw the second practice out. It was so slick, so hot. Nobody was getting grip. Everybody slipping and sliding. So we did the same thing. We all went back to what we had in the first practice with one minor adjustment, and it was pretty decent. The Germain Toyota was drivable, still needed some forward bite, so we'll see. Sun goes down, track gets a little grip, maybe it'll be better.
Okay, Todd Bodine, 18 wins in this series. None of those have come on a short track. Adam?
Ray Kyle Busch has made 9 starts here at O'Reilly Raceway Park, including 2 wins in the NASCAR Nationwide Series. A great starting spot tonight. How do you make your experience here pay off?
Well, we started off well here now, so got to keep it up front and have a good race tonight in order to try to win this thing. You know, track position's key, and we started the night off right. Eichler and the guys at KBM did a great job for me, so we'll see if we can't keep it up there. You know, I feel like we've got a really good Tundra. Real proud of the guys. Got to thank Flexco, M&M's, and Toyota of Warsaw for helping us out. So if anybody needs a great Tundra, I tell you what, head over to Toyota of Warsaw, help us out.
Good luck tonight.
You got it, thanks.
Krista?
All right, yeah, this is a special place for Kyle Busch, indeed. This is where he made his very first NASCAR Series start. It was in a truck. It was August of 2001. Rick Allen, Phil Parsons, and Michael Waltrip are standing by upstairs. They are psyched, ready to go for this race. And just because Kyle's in the field, guys, doesn't mean it's automatic. In 4 truck starts, he's never won here.
Yeah, it's also a special place for these two guys. They both have poles in the Nationwide Series that you won here. But let's talk a little bit about points. Our points right now, Todd Bodine has a 101 point lead over the field. Who is still in this competition for a championship?
Well, let's talk about Ron Hornaday. He's 6th right now, 261 points behind. Ray just talked about the short tracks have been Todd Bodine's Achilles heel his entire career here in the Camping World Truck Series. As a matter of fact, his average finish this year in the 2 short track races, 23rd. The difference between 1st and 23rd, about 100 points. He could eliminate that 100-point lead he has right now, and that brings everybody back in. Ron Hornaday, 261 behind, could leave here maybe 160 behind. So under no way, stretch your imagination, is the 33 of Ron Hornaday out of this, and he's 6th.
That's right, and 7th and 8th. I like those two cats, too. Austin Dillon, a rookie on a roll. Last 4 races, 4 top 10 finishes. He's certainly still competitive in this championship. And behind him, one of the strongest trucks here at ORP tonight, Matt Crafton. So those two could charge up, and we will have an 8-truck battle for this championship. It's that close.
Austin Dillon leading the Rookie of the Year point standings up to this point, and maybe looking for a championship in the Camping World Truck Series. Krista?
All right, thanks, guys. Yeah, good indeed. And I love the fact that Ray has sort of stoked Hornaday's fires by saying he will not win the championship, so we'll have to see what happens. You know, this track is certainly not an easy one. For one thing, the heat today has been absolutely unreal. For another thing, everything. The haulers located outside. That means crew members have to make trips back and forth outside. That's part of the routine here at ORP. What about drivers' routines? Do they have any pre-race week to week? We asked that question in this week's Bumper to Bumper.
Pre-race rituals. I know Hornaday does.
we got a lot of them. Man. Just ask little Dennis Stagcock. He's got a duck from me once in a while. I try to find him before every race.
I watched him. He goes in there and the driver's meeting has to sit in a certain chair every week. So I try and throw him off. Me and my crew chief, me and Danny Stockman, we try and sit where he wants to sit. So it kind of throws him off, mess with him a little bit. But we know he's got a lot of twerks, I guess you can say, before the race he has to do.
Rituals, man, I've tried every ritual. When I was in the Cup Series, we were the shoulda, coulda, woulda guy. So we tried every kind of good luck charm, rituals. You know, Richard Childress always told me that green is bad. My very first race car was green, and I won like 12 out of 14 races with it. They don't like $50 bills, so I always try to carry 50 with me. You know, everything you're not supposed to do, I've found that works pretty good for me.
I try to have like the same thing to eat, you know, it'll be a coffee in the morning or a latte. I wouldn't say that's superstitious, I just like that. You know, it kind of starts my day off. I do it all the time at home. But no, I don't have like a special pair of socks or a special shirt that I wear under, no.
You know, I'm not a superstitious person, so I don't, you know, I just make sure I feed my belly before I go out and get something to drink, and I'm good to go.
Well, the lollipops, I guess that would be a little superstitious. I don't know. I think it's more habit than anything. You know, I've always had Tootsie Pops in the haulers, just about every hauler I've ever had. And I always used to just grab one going out to qualify and going out before the race, and it's just become one of those things that I just grab it and go.
No. As long as I have my Davey Allison shirt on under my fire suit, I'm good.
The only one I kind of follow, and a lot of people that know me in the garage, you know, the night before I race, I always like to go to Olive Garden.
Well, lucky for David Starr, there's actually an Olive Garden nearby. Here at O'Reilly Raceway Park, it's not so much fettuccine that drives the fans crazy. No, it's those corn dogs. So go ahead and grab yourself a corn dog and come back. We've got a lot more here from ORP just outside Indianapolis, here on Speed, still to come. The setup is presented by Polaris, the hardest working, smoothest riding off-road vehicles, now at your local dealer. What a great night for racing. It's finally starting to cool off, and these guys are getting ready to go. One of those is Austin Dillon. He's never raced a truck here, but did compete in last year's Nationwide Series event, finishing 18th. Welcome back to O'Reilly Raceway Park and the setup presented by Polaris. I'm Krista Voda. Austin Dillon is fighting for the Rookie of the Year title, but one guy who's doing everything he can to make sure that doesn't happen is Justin Lofton. Lofton came into this series this year already with a major trophy on his mantle. Now he's looking for another one. Get to know a little bit more about rookie Justin Lofton as we go beyond the stripe.
There's a lot of pressure on myself that I put from being the defending ARCA champion, winning, you know, I think 6 or 7 races, lots of poles, and just running good and going back down and going, you know, I'm not the top dog in the series anymore. I'm like one of the guys at the bottom, and I got to, you know, earn the respect again. I've got to work my way up. Always been a very competitive person. It was about the age of 9.5, 10 when I started racing BMX bikes. I wanted to race something, and from 9 to 13 it was bikes, and from 9 to 16 it was bikes, and from 16 on it was race cars. I definitely feel like I have a target on me, especially after my season's gone. I've basically been ran into 4 separate times this year, and it's definitely been, you know, really made it feel like that, and you know, it's really been kind of depressing, but Dover was a really big accomplishment for me. It was a track, and when I showed up to the track, I was like, wow, we're gonna race on this.
and just how the race unfolded and the truck being really good.
Justin Lofton having a great top 10 run here at Dover.
We know he has the talent, and he's showing it here today.
Just to run that good and kind of secure myself as, you know what, I can do this, and you know, we're going to go out there and make an impression sometime this year, you know, later on, and hopefully get a couple wins. If we can make it through and get 1 or 2 wins, we'll be happy. And just if we can get ourselves up in the top 5 and finish top 5 in points is where we're really, you know, what our goals are now. And, you know, just to kind of raise some hype and pick up some sponsors for next year and be able to keep racing and moving up and, you know, just kind of secure my place in the truck series. You know, I'd love to drive a cup car. I'd love to be, you know, win a Sprint Cup championship. And, you know, I don't think that's definitely out of the books for me. And just, you know, going on and having a good, solid career. And, you know, when I retire, everyone knowing, you know, that he was a good race car driver.
Well, Dylan leads the charge right now, but Lofton mentioned that Dover race. He finished 3rd there. Not an easy thing to do as a rookie. Jennifer Jo Cobb and Brett Butler also in the mix. And I believe Ray is caught up with one of those rookies.
Yeah, and it's, you know, Krista, when we look at the numbers, the thing that gets me is the finishes haven't come as well as you guys have run the last 3 or 4 weeks. So how do you turn that around tonight?
You know, just by, you know, persevering through it. I really just think keeping our head down and, you know, we feel we have the confidence in ourselves and in our equipment, and you know, to go out there, and we've shown everyone that we can run good, so we just really just need to have a little good luck on our side. You know, find one of those 4-leaf clovers or something, and you know, we'll get it. But we're all excited over there on the number 7 truck, and you know, really just looking forward to a good race here at ORP.
All right, get the payoff that you deserve. These guys have run well. They were in the top 5 in practice. He'll roll off 13th tonight here on the short track.
Thanks, Ray. It's also ladies' night. Jennifer Jo Cobb is a regular this season. She is 17th in points. And Johanna Long, a late model track champion, is making her Truck Series debut. Also in the field, Michelle Theriot. She has been in 4 previous truck races, so we have not 1, not 2, but 3 ladies in the field. It's girl power times 3. We will wrap things up and get you ready to go racing. A great crowd on hand. It's a Friday night special here at ORP. It's a big one next week. The trucks go to Pocono, but this week all eyes are on Indy. Nationwide Series at ORP, the Sprint Cup drivers at the Brickyard on Sunday. They call Indiana the crossroads of America. Tonight, all roads lead to Victory Lane, and we will be there waiting. The setup is complete. The AAA Insurance 200 on speed starts now.
Well, that's a heartbreaker for a guy who was running in the top 10 all day.
And we have caution. It comes out for the 9th time this afternoon.
The pace truck hits pit road. We'll get the restart at lap 8.
7th place, a good scramble now.
Caution flag is out for the 6th time.
But he also gets those 5 bonus points, which will help in the championship battle.
4 wide for the 2nd spot into turn 3.
He's 3rd in points.
He becomes our 2nd race leader of the afternoon.
We are 1 lap away from going green.
We're under the lights for short track racing from ORP on one of the biggest race weekends of the year. Welcome to the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series AAA Insurance 200, presented on speed by the Expendables. Since the inception of this series back in 1995, the trucks have visited ORP annually. In those 15 years, no one has ever won this race starting further back than 8th. Could that statistic change tonight? Well, that's one question we're going to be looking for the answer to. Another question is with Ray Dunlap, right?
Well, Rick, I think the question is, can Todd Bodine have a successful night on a short track? So far this season, he has 9 finishes of top 5s. However, there's 2 other finishes to go along with that. 30th at Martinsville and 17th at Iowa, both short tracks. They need to turn it around tonight. Todd Bodine qualified 6th at ORP. Adam?
Johnny Sauter is a driver you should keep your eye on this evening. 3rd or better in 3 of the last 4 races. And this is a racetrack where he has been good over the years, including back in 2004 when he led 139 laps, but finished in the 2nd position. Driver 13 is hungry. He will roll 9th this evening. Rick?
Thank you, Adam and Ray. We're going to be hearing all of the different stories from pit road tonight. One of the big stories, obviously, is Johnny Sauter in the 13 running so well in practice, but not qualifying as well. Phil?
He really didn't. When we talked to him early, he really didn't know why, but he felt like he had a great truck, and he knows that he's going to have a good truck in this race. He almost won this thing back in 2004, got passed on the last lap, so he has a little bit of motivation there.
And we're going to see a lot of beating and banging here, Rick. And plus, these turns are tight. We're going to fill them up with all kinds of trucks. These guys will be scrubbing on each other and scrubbing on the wall, and there's a chance somebody's going to get their feelings hurt.
And Rick, and don't forget, this is Indianapolis.
It is Indianapolis, and it's short track racing. This is where this series was born, on the short tracks across the country. And ORP is one of 3 tracks that the trucks have been to annually. Let's get things underway. We go trackside for our invocation.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the presentation of the colors by U.S. Army Color Guard from the 205th Infantry Brigade, 1st U.S. Army. Please remain standing. We are happy to have with us again this evening the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series chaplain, Mr. Jim Lanning.
Let's pray together. Our Father in heaven, you are an awesome God, and thank you for making yourself known through the person of Jesus. And Father, we thank you for the freedoms that we have to come here to this racetrack to enjoy motorsports. And Father, we thank you for all of our armed services that are protecting that freedom. And Father, right now we ask protection for all our competitors and all these race fans tonight. We pray for a great, enjoyable race. And most of all, Lord, we're just thankful for Jesus, because our faith in him, we can have eternal life and an abundant life. In his name I pray, amen.
Lofton Creek recording artist and former Ball State University student Kelly Parks is here to perform our national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Drivers getting their last bit of encouragement from their teams as they'll climb into their trucks before we start the engines. It's short track racing once again for the Camping World Truck Series. This time it's O'Reilly Raceway Park at Indianapolis. The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series is presented on speed by the new movie The Expendables, starring Jason Statham, Jet Li, and Sylvester Stallone, in theaters everywhere August 13th. Brought to you in part by Camping World. Visit Camping World for all your truck, tire, and towing needs. And by Herculiner Truck Bed Liners. With Herculiner, the tough comes easy. Welcome back to Indianapolis and O'Reilly Raceway Park. Let's go back to Krista for the Polaris resetup.
Well, Rick, I've moved down inside of turn 1, and the crowd over my shoulder on the hillside, absolutely incredible. They have had their blankets and chairs there since this morning, staking out their claim on one of the best parts of real estate in all of Indiana. Stories to watch for: front row, Timothy Peters on the pole for just a second time in his career with Kyle Busch alongside. Warrior Day struggles continue. Going this deep into the season without a win for him, unprecedented. And it's a busy weekend for a lot of drivers. Todd Bodine and Kyle Busch attempting the double at both tracks. 7 drivers attempting the double here at ORP. It's part carnival, part family reunion. It is all party here at ORP, and you have a front row seat.
Well, thank you again, Krista. Rick Allen, Phil Parsons, Michael Waltrip with you once again. A great crowd on hand for this race. Now, we have been here all day long, and it's been a warm one, Phil. We practiced and qualified in the heat. Now we're going to race under the lights.
As a matter of fact, it was so warm that Todd Bodine said they threw out their notes from the second practice session because the racetrack was so slick. They went back to the setup from the first practice session. But all the guys in the garage say that they think the racetrack is going to gain grip when we get towards nighttime. The key here, Michael, is to get that truck turned in the center of the corner and have that forward bite off the corner. Everyone struggled with a forward bite, but they think that's going to be better as the night wears on.
And you know what I like about this track? You got options. If your truck was set up and doing good in the middle of the racetrack, maybe it won't be good when it gets cold outside, so you run down low. They can run all the way from right next to the wall down to the apron. That'll make it fun.
Who has the best option at the end of the night in claiming that checkered flag? We're about to find out. Let's fire the engines. We go for the command.
Race fans, we are happy to have with us the winners of the Ford AAA Student Auto Skills Challenge, Jonathan Anderson, Mackenzie Nordland, and instructor James McFadgen. They are going to bring us those famous words.
Drivers, start your engines!
Got me lower. Crank.
Okay,
fired up.
I got you, man.
Fired up, horn. For radio, I'm out. Got switched over channel 2. You got me, buddy.
36 trucks coming to live communications between driver, spotter, and crew chief, getting ready for the green flag to fly from ORP. Welcome back to the AAA Insurance 200, presented on speed by the Expendables. A great crowd on hand here. They have been sticking it out in the very warm temperatures today. 90 degrees now. We're closing in on 8:15 local time. Humidity 63%. It's been a sticky day. Forecast is clear, and that is a beautiful thing. Our starting grid's going to roll across the bottom of the screen. Timothy Peters, with his second career full, will lead the field to the green flag tonight from the outside line. We want to take a look at our ZMAX track description.
See this racetrack, and incredible, really. You see the banking in the corners, only 7.5 degrees, but it's really a little flatter than that down on the bottom of the racetrack. It's so inviting down there. People want to get down there, but it's hard to get that power down and get up off the corner with the guys on the outside.
Take a look at our race analysis brought to you by the Expendables, in theaters August 13th.
$480,000 these guys are racing for, but more importantly than that, Phil, is this pit window. We could see some strategy that could lead a guy from a 10th, 15th, 20th place starting spot up toward the front, try to get that track position and then hang on to it.
In the Truck Series, we like to shine a light on a few different drivers during the race. Right before, let's get a little update on those drivers in our speed spotlight. We begin with Ray.
Well, Rick, it's always fun when we come to a short track to watch the rookies. Many of them in the field tonight. We've got 3 of them that are making their first start, and that includes Nick Hoffman there in the number 63 driving for the Mittler brothers. His dad has been in racing pretty much all his life. His father, Darrell, works at Pro Motors, and they really believe they've got a good piece tonight. Nick Hoffman says, I got to get good at this because I'm tired of running dirt late models. I want to move up. Here's his first chance, driving tonight in 63. Adam?
Johanna Long makes her career debut tonight as well, Ray, starting in the 15th position. She, too, has came up through the ranks driving late models. Tonight, she's driving for Billy Blue Motorsports in hopes that she can impress NASCAR and be qualified to run in both Nashville and New Hampshire later this season. And if you look at the hood, you see Riley Children's Hospitals there. She is proud to be supporting that local organization racing here tonight at ORP. Bill?
Adam, I want to shine a spotlight on 18-year-old Florida high school honor student Ryan Rust. Ryan's run open wheel modifieds in Florida. His sponsor is FireStop, a fire suppression system for Class A and B fires. He's excited about this opportunity to race with the best, and his goal tonight, Michael, is to finish.
That's a great goal. Gentlemen, I'm going to shine my spotlight directly on Bristol, Connecticut's Michelle Theriot. The 24-year-old rose off from the 30th position in Andy Hillenberg's Chevrolet. Michelle is looking to make laps and gain experience. In addition to her 4 NASCAR Camping World Truck Series starts, she's raced in NASCAR's K&N East and West Series, ARCA, and the Pro Cup Series. Guys, she's a winner. She's got a Legends Car Championship 3 times over in her division.
Our director is going to paint some pictures for you tonight using cameras from inside the trucks. On board with Austin Dillon, he'll start in the 12th position. We also ride along with the Toyota-sponsored onboard of Timothy Peters. He starts up front, so that'll be an interesting watch from his position. Jason White carries one of our cameras starting from the 24th position, as well as Matt Crafton starting in the 4th position. He'll also carry a camera. We'll see how Matt does here at ORP tonight. Let's head back trackside with Ray Dunlap.
Well, Rick, when you look at that front row, you may think Kyle Busch is on the pole. He's actually on the inside because Timothy Peters picked the outside. But when you look at Kyle's Truck Series numbers at this track, they're really not that impressive. Lots of drivers would love to have a couple of top 10s, but that's uncharacteristic for this driver. He's got 2 nationwide wins at this track, and I think he's a threat for the win tonight at ORP and maybe for all 3 races this weekend. Adam?
Ray, there's no doubt about it. O'Reilly Raceway Park is one of the great venues in all of NASCAR. Short track racing is where the Truck Series was born, and there's one driver who's liked it every step of the way. We're talking about Ron Hornaday. He has recorded more short track wins than any other. Right behind him, Mike Skinner. They are very, very impressive in what they've been able to do at these kinds of tracks throughout their career. But the one thing we should mention about Hornaday, Skinner, and Setzer, none have won in 2010. Each is hungry here tonight. We'll see if one of those guys is able to get it done.
And one of the names not on that list was Bodine, a guy who hasn't had success on the short track. He's never won on a short track, even though he's been very successful in the trucks.
He slays him on the 1.5 miles, so.
Hey, Phil, how cool is it to get a win in Indy? I mean, look at the atmosphere here tonight, the packed crowd. These guys just, they don't care if it pays $480,000. They want a trophy from Indy.
Michael, you would know that. I don't know that, but you would know that, exactly.
The pace car has left the racetrack. That means the field now is in the hands of the 17 of Timothy Peters, grabbing his 2nd pole earlier today. On the inside will be Kyle Busch, one of the hottest drivers in all of NASCAR. Coming out of turn number 4, we're going short track racing from ORP.
Great jump by Timothy Peters. He does take advantage of that high line, puts Kyle Busch in his rearview mirror.
Good move by Timothy Peters. You know Kyle Busch wasn't going to give him a thing.
2 and 3 wide around this racetrack early on as everyone's sorting out, looking for positions and spots to move up to. The preferred line on this racetrack is actually up higher.
It is, but right now when your tires are brand new, you can make some work done on the bottom of the racetrack.
You're going to go wherever the guy in front of you isn't. If you got to run on him, you can go ducking down to the bottom. The thing that's interesting about this track, Rick, is up high you got a lot more grip. Obviously down low it's a shorter way around, but those 2 lines converge when they hit the straightaway, and that's when you see problems.
And we've seen a few drivers get very close to those outside walls coming out of 2 and out of 4. I think we're going to see more of that tonight.
They're going to be a lot closer than close. They're going to be against those walls up off the corner.
Early on, it's Timothy Peters out front. Kyle Busch runs 2nd. Matt Crafton, Hornaday, and James Buescher are your top 5. Hornaday all over the back bumper. That 88 of Matt Crafton now, battling for the 3rd spot.
You know, in years past, we would come here and say, okay, the outside groove is the place to be. You want to get in your pit window and stay out and get track position. I think last year we saw more passing done at this racetrack on the bottom than we have ever seen.
Skinner sideways as he came out of turn number 2.
And we've seen more trucks sideways at ORP than we do anywhere all year long. It's because the exit of these corners, these guys down in the garage area were talking about how difficult it is to get hooked up running off these turns. You carry a lot of speed on this short track. It's 5/8 of a mile. You get wound up really strong. And when you mat the gas, there's a lot of momentum, and it's hard to get it hooked up.
Saw the 13 of Johnny Sauter Peek to the inside of the 30 of Todd Bodine for just a moment. Remember, Johnny's truck was so good in practice, trying to get to the inside, can't quite get the power down in order to do it. Now that was a great exit of the corner for Johnny Sauter.
He gave Todd a little shove there in the middle of the corner, got Todd out of whack, and then drove it deep down into turn one. Can he complete the pass? Looks like he's going to make it.
What a great shot.
David away from Todd Bodine.
David Starr is trying to do the same thing there.
That shows you this racetrack right there. The differing grooves that you can run here and the consequences of running one over the other. Look at Todd Bodine gets a strong run off the corner. David will dive back to the bottom in turn one.
3 drivers have been to victory lane here in this field. Mike Skinner, Ron Hornaday, and Dennis Setzer driving the 92 tonight.
Watch as these guys go down in the corner here. There's so much room down there. It's so inviting. Austin Dillon said, look, give me some of that bottom.
But look, they all come to the same spot when they get to the straightaway. That causes a major problem. Or it can, of course.
Yeah, Todd Bodine staying up high. We see the 81 of David Starr trying to work on the bottom of the racetrack, as is the 3 of Austin Dillon. Those 3 all fighting for 8th, 9th, and 10th right now.
Remember, just a couple laps ago, Johnny Sauter was able to get by Todd Bodine. As we see David Starr pull up beside him again, there's a battle for 11th and 12th. And now Johnny Sauter has put about 6 or 8 truck lengths now on Todd Bodine.
Ray Dunlap, what's happening with Eric Almirola?
Very, very tight, Rick. He said the truck is absolutely plowing through the center. And Richie asked him if there was any difference in the ends. He said, yes, turn 1 and 2, much worse. And we've got a big crash in turn 1. 87 blew a right front tire or a motor.
Chris Jones into the wall, it looks like, in the 87. That brings out our first caution.
Right front tire went down on that truck for some reason, Phil. And Ricky Carmichael's come to pit road as well. Maybe some contact between those 2 trucks.
Ricky's truck is overheating. You see the steam coming from the base of the windshield. They're going to pull some tape off that truck. They can do this right now. They need to get back out there, though, and stay on the lead lap.
Man, after only 10 laps and having that much problem with heat, it makes you wonder if he got into something with the front of the truck and closed in his radiator opening, because they couldn't have missed it that far, surely.
They got done with his pit work, and they sent him on his way. He will stay on the lead lap. There he is, still with steam coming at the base of the windshield.
And you can see there was no damage to the front of that truck, so obviously just had a little bit too much tape on it.
That's Chris Jones out of his truck, taking a look at the damage. Here is after the contact was made.
I think Chris did a nice job of getting that truck slowed down. We caught a glimpse of that truck from the right side, and fairly minimal damage for cutting a right front tire down.
He just couldn't turn left when he got to the end of the front straightaway. There's black marks that slide right into the wall, and major damage to that truck.
Shadows getting a little bit longer here at ORP as the sun is setting. There's Delana Harvick, owner of the 2 and the 33 here in the Camping World Truck Series.
And Richard Childress, owner of the 3.
Monday night, only one NASCAR show delivers the drivers, the crew chiefs, the latest news and information, and expert analysis from the epicenter of NASCAR Nation, Charlotte, North Carolina. Don't miss a full hour of NASCAR Race Up, presented by Hooters, Monday night, 7 Eastern, only on Speed. Get a pit update. We go down to Ray Dunlap.
Well, thank you, Rick. The 51 of Eric Almirola came in. I told you he said it was plowing real bad. They did right side tires there, but Eric says he has so much drive up off the corner, believe it or not, it may be too much. And so Richie Waters is down here getting a different shock. They're actually talking about coming in and changing a shock on the truck, and if they do that, they're more than likely going to go down a lap. But Eric says there's no way he can drive it the way it is right now.
Might have a shot at getting
and
that.
Ricky Carmichael made 2 trips down the pit lane, Ray, and we showed the fact they were pulling tape off the nose and he was overheating. He had lost so much water that he came back down at lap 11. They added water to the radiator. They feel good about where they are now from that standpoint. The unfortunate thing, after going from 21st to 16th, he will restart outside the top 30. A long night trying to get to the front for Carmichael.
And the safety crews continuing to clean up the incident in turn number 1 with Chris Jones. That truck is off the racetrack. The 51 on pit road. We'll be back. Be the biggest racing fan you can be with Verizon Championship Racing at the track and on your phone. From nationwide and IndyCar driver meet and greets to exclusive peeks inside the Penske garage right on your VCast phone. We're your hard card to racing nirvana, only from the network with the most 3G coverage, Verizon. Again, our first caution came out when the 87 of Chris Jones got into the wall in turn number 1. We're ready for the restart. Fans up on their feet. Timothy Peters brings him back to the green flag.
Didn't quite get the jump on Kyle Busch that time. Kyle was able to hang on that left rear corner, but Timothy's going to use the momentum on the outside and clear Kyle.
You held your breath there for a second.
Were you trying to tell him as a spotter would tell him?
Well, I just think it's so fun as a race fan. Timothy Peters, here comes Kyle Busch looking back to the bottom. Timothy Peters did a great job on the start of this race, cleared Kyle Busch and got the lead. He was driving along comfortably. Caution, lap 10. Come on back inside, Kyle. Try it again.
Let's see what happens once again.
Double file restarts are the best.
Side by side back here between Skinner and Bodine. Bodine on the outside. Skinner still working the bottom of the racetrack. He's one of the only trucks we've seen really try to hug the yellow line since the start of this race, which hasn't been too long.
Pretty good corner right there. Wasn't quite able to clear Todd, but he's doing a pretty good job hanging in on the bottom.
At some point, Rick, everybody will be all the way down on the bottom and everybody will be all the way against the top. It just depends on what your situation is, what your circumstance. Right now, Mike Skinner's got a good truck trying to make that pass down on the bottom, but Todd's making it hard on him.
Tell you what, I think Skinner might be irritating Todd Bodine right now. It looked like Todd may have brushed the wall coming at it too.
I think it looked like he got awfully close if he did not make any contact. If the contact was there, it was just very slight.
Skinner stays to the inside. Bodine on the outside. Skinner way down to the bottom of the racetrack now. It looks like Todd Bodine's got the advantage as he pulls in front.
I can't tell you how hard it is to run that bottom down there. It's an easier groove to run around the top, but you can't just line up and ride behind the guy, and then as soon as you commit to the bottom, get up beside him. If you can't complete the pass, what happens? They freight train you on the outside.
Now Johnny Sauter's going to try to take advantage of the outside. Good battle on the left side of your screen. That's battle for 13th. Brad Sweet in the 90. Shelby Howard driving the KHI number 2.
There you see the 13 of Johnny Sauter making the pass on the 5 of Mike Skinner. We'll see if Skinner will move up the racetrack at all and try to protect that position.
Now we have trucks running underneath the yellow line. Michael, you talked about being all the way down to the bottom. They're below the bottom.
You got to use all your options, Phil.
We normally see that out of Kyle Busch. He'll either run right up against the wall or sometimes on the apron. Brad Sweet now trying the low line in that number 90.
Trying to get by the 92 of Dennis Setzer. Dennis following the 7 of Justin Lofton.
We talked in qualifying earlier about Dennis Setzer and his successes on short tracks and the fact that his trucks normally never have a scratch on them. By the end of the race, you normally never see a scratch on the 92 of Dennis Setzer because he really never gets into a position where he mixes it up with anybody else.
I didn't think he could fit between the 90 and the wall just then, so I knew it was going to be scraped up, but Dennis pulled it off. You're right, he takes care of his truck, and 9 times out of 10, he'll figure out a way to get it up toward the front.
Johnny Sauter pulls to the inside of Todd Bodine. That is a battle for the 6th position. Johnny Sauter is on the move.
Johnny Sauter trying to make up some positions on the racetrack, and he gets by that 30 of Todd Bodine. So now Sauter has moved up into the 6th position.
Good battle for 4th right there. Matt Crafton, the 88, has it. The 31 of James Busher is trying to get it.
Adam Alexander.
Matt Crafton running where he started this race, as Phil said, in the 4th position. He said the truck is good in 1 and 2, but pushing the nose in 3 and 4. And right behind him, James Busher started 3rd, currently riding 5th. He said we need to free it up in the center of the corner. He's looking at the inside again.
Check out the rain car and trying to get on the inside. Oh man, it's just about a crash off turn 4.
This is still James Busher and Matt Crafton. Busher went all the way down to the apron. Now it looks like Crafton's got that spot in front of James Busher.
Man, you ought to have seen these two, Rick, a second ago. The tire monkey was dead sideways, and the rain looked like he didn't know which way he was headed. Check it out. They exited turn 4. That's why I got all excited. Check out the battle these two are having.
See rain on the bottom of the racetrack. It's going to slide up.
They make a little bit of contact, get together there. It gets worse.
Yeah. and Narain did a nice job of not overcorrecting and chasing that truck up the hill and making even more contact with the 12.
Yeah, you know, last week, watch Tire Monkey. The Tire Monkey and the 60 truck had problems getting along last week, remember? There was a different driver in the 60, but the same 2 trucks.
Eric Almirola now on the back bumper of Narain Karthikeyan.
Remember, Eric made a couple pit stops under that caution flag, so he started from the very back of the pack. He's going to try to work his way underneath this 60 of Narain Karthikeyan. Ray, what went on with the 51 truck?
Well, Phil, they did not make the shock change, but Richie Waters still has it sitting on the toolbox if they need it. They did climb underneath and open up the valving on the left rear shock a couple of clicks. So far, Eric say it still has too much drive off, so they're going to try to do some adjustments whenever we get our first round of pit stops. He's trying the bottom side of the racetrack, but still a tough place to pass.
Almirola running 18th. Karthikeyan is 17th.
How much fun is it to watch Richie Waters work over a truck? He doesn't mind using all options to get that thing tuned up, and he got to start early tonight. He didn't like it early on, so they're already working on it.
He pitted on lap number 11 and 12 and 14.
And luckily, you guys never question his calls.
No,
never.
No, not more.
How could you?
Not often.
Timothy Peters has been out front every lap. We've completed 31 of the 200 scheduled for tonight's race. Kyle Busch has been, well, right on his back bumper, shadowing that 17 around this 5/8 mile racetrack. He challenged him twice at the start of the race and at the restart of the race. And since then, Timothy Peters has been in front of Kyle Busch. Timothy Peters looking for another win in the Camping World Truck Series. He's got one short track win from Martinsville. He's trying to make it 2 here at ORP. Sunday NASCAR race day invades Indianapolis. David Rudiman, Clint Boyer, and Jimmy Johnson join us live. Plus, Kenny Wallace shows you a side of the Brickyard like you've never seen before. NASCAR race day built by the Home Depot. Live from Indianapolis Sunday, 10 Eastern, only on Speed. Behind the wall goes the 7 of Justin Lofton.
What horrible luck this young man has. We caught a glimpse of what he's trying to do during the setup show, and gosh, she's had so much bad luck. Had a great run going, ran out of fuel. Was it Iowa with like on the last lap, 2 laps to go, and they'd already gone overtime. Ray?
Phil, it's a fuel line issue this time. Right by the carburetor when it was running, it was just gushing fuel out. They're going to have to get in there and make an adjustment, but they were lucky they didn't get a fire here, because there was a huge amount of fuel coming out right on the right side of the carburetor at a fuel line where it hooks up to the carburetor.
You know, it's really amazing. There Justin Lofton is behind the wall having work done, and there his teammate is whose trucks are prepared exactly the same way out here leading the race and hasn't had near the bad luck that Justin has had lately.
Yeah, Justin Lofton was running in the 11th position when he had that problem with the fuel line going to the carburetor, as Ray mentioned. And Timothy Peters hasn't had problems up to this point in this race. He's looked very strong.
Well, you remember, though, at Iowa when one of Billy Blue's trucks broke, the other one broke. So Timothy Peters is leading the race, but I bet he's wondering, is my fuel line okay? They probably hadn't even told him, though.
Hey, remember St. Louis, the 7 of Justin Lofton lost an engine. Timothy Peters lost an engine on the last lap, but he was able to nurse it home to 6th.
Hornaday still battling on the racetrack. He runs in the 3rd spot. That's Timothy Peters, Kyle Busch, Ron Hornaday, 1, 2, 3.
Strong run for Hornaday early in the go, and these guys have just been constantly battling this lap traffic. I told you in the pre-race this track is full. There's trucks everywhere. You're constantly making a move on somebody.
Things happen fast here at a short track as we're closing in on a 4th of this race being done.
Saw Matt Crafton go in the middle of 3 wide. James Busher doing the same thing, as well as Johnny Sauter. They're going to split the lap trucks.
Like you mentioned earlier, you go where there ain't, and that's exactly what they're doing on this racetrack tonight.
Crafton riding along in the 4th spot. Got James Busher breathing down his neck, and you can see Johnny Sauter right there. We talk about the trucks being built alike, and sometimes things happen to them similarly. And in this case, Busher, the guys are able to run right with their teammate. We saw Crafton and Sauter right there together. So that's a good feeling if you're a race car driver, and you know you got everything that guy's got. Then it comes down to just you driving it and you doing the job.
And not making mistakes, especially on a short track. Johnny Sauter has had some good runs as of late. 2nd and 3rd his last 2 races out. His best finish at this racetrack, 2nd back in 2004.
And Michael, remember last week Johnny Sauter told us that their truck wasn't quite as good as they would have liked. They went to Matt Crafton's setup and parlayed that into a 3rd place finish.
10th, 11th, and 12th on your screen. David Starr in the 81. Brad Sweet in the 90, still staying way down on the bottom of the racetrack, and the 2 of Shelby Howard on the outside. Again, that 2 a Kevin Harvick Incorporated truck. Shelby Howard is behind the wheel. And more on that, Ray Dunlap.
Rick, in practice earlier today, Shelby's truck was terribly tight, and his crew chief Butch Hilton brought it in, put it up on the scales, and put all 4 different shocks and springs on that truck, a complete different setup to get it freer. And then in the second practice, Shelby said it is turning absolutely perfect. He was really, really happy with the adjustments they've made, and he said he likes the way the truck is coming to him as they go into a long run so far tonight here at ORP.
I like the way it's looking too, guys. He's caught the back of these trucks. He's running along in the 12th spot, but it looks like he's got something. Closed right up on the group he's racing there.
Pretty impressed with Brad Sweet as well, the Great Clips Toyota there for Doug Stringer. He's doing a nice job. He probably has as many laps on this racetrack as anybody with all the open wheel racing he's done here.
Heck, he raced here last night. Got all warmed up.
Couple different divisions, right? I think he ran the midgets and he ran the Silver Crown last night.
Michelle Theriot bringing the 48 onto pit road. She's 4 laps down. Off the racetrack right now, Justin Lofton. They're still working on that truck. Brent Raymer, Mike Harmon, and Mike Garvey also off of the racetrack. Battle for the 5th position. James Busher trying to hold off that 13 of Johnny Sauter.
Johnny had a nice run through the center of the corner and then lays off just a little bit to see if he can maybe get a little bite up off the corner to try to get underneath James. James has really been running that inside line, trying to work his way by Matt Kraft, and now he's lost touch a little bit with Matt, trying to hold off Johnny Sauter.
And that's the 63 truck. He's the first truck a lap down Nick Hoffman. So if the flag caution waves right now, he's our Aaron's lucky dog. They've lapped all the way up to the 21st spot. Donnie Lee is the last truck on the lead lap, and the leaders are breathing down his neck.
Things happen so fast on short tracks. Michelle Theriot trying to leave pit road, a little rambunctious. She is caught for speeding. She exited pit road, so she'll have to come back and do a pass through, which she's doing now.
It's a great battle for the 5th spot here with James Busher and the 13 of Johnny Sauter.
Yeah, just pick a position you want to talk about, because there's battles everywhere. The 3 wide off turn 4. These guys side by side.
The gap for the lead has not changed virtually since the start of this race. It's been about 0.3 of a second between our race leader Timothy Peters and Kyle Busch.
Johnny Sauter able to make that pass on James Busher. There's David Starr right there. That's a battle for the 9th position. Brad Sweet now has moved up by the 5 of Mike Skinner to take over the 10th spot.
Adam Alexander.
A week ago, it was an impressive run for Jason White. 11th at Gateway, moved him up to 10th in the points. He's been very good here this evening as well. 24th to 13th in the early going for that 23 truck. You see him left of your screen. And another driver who's looking good this evening is Ricky Carmichael. He's rallied from 32nd back up into the top 20 after those 2 trips down pit road earlier.
Shelby Howard looking at the inside of Mike Skinner now.
There's Carmichael. Like you said, had a couple trips to pit road, overheating early in the going. These 2 side by side down into turn 1. Looks like Shelby Howard's got a better truck than Mike. Can he complete the pass? Oh,
real still there.
He's got it now.
Clear.
I think Mike gave him a bit of a break there and didn't push the issue.
Mike Skinner has been in victory lane twice at this racetrack, the most recent back in 1996. Looking to get back into victory lane is Skinner. He's got a lot of work to do, though, because Timothy Peters is running strong in front of this field. Wednesday night Speed Prime Time is all new. At 8, it's the new original stunt riding series, Stealth Rider. At 10, it's Intersections, where man and machine are pushed to the limit. Get your heart racing Wednesday night, starting at 8 Eastern, only on Speed.
There's no stealth riding about that 33 truck. He took over 2nd.
Battle for the lead. Ron Hornaday trying to go by the 17. He takes it away from Timothy Peters.
Wasn't I the one that said that Ron Hornaday may not be out of this championship battle yet?
And he's driving like he knows that tonight, man. What an aggressive move he's made to the front of this field. He just caught those guys so quickly. Kyle Busch rolled over and let him go. He knew there wasn't any sense in fighting him. And Timothy didn't hold him back either. Check this out. He gets to the bottom of Kyle.
Boy, just jumps to the throttle through the center. Give Kyle a little bit of wave, saying, man, thanks for not pushing the issue. Give me a little bit of room. And then he just drives down to the inside, down to the yellow line here. Timothy sees him. He's going to fight back on the outside, but watch Ron get in the throttle right here.
Wow.
I believe you've called that forward bite.
That's exactly what that is. And when you can have forward bite like that down on the flat, down on the bottom, you're going to be hard to hold.
Matt Crafton looking at the inside of the 18 of Kyle Busch. That's a battle for the 3rd position.
Crafton running in the 4th position after starting 4th. Kyle Busch running 3rd just in front of him. 2nd now is Timothy Peters after leading the first 60 some odd laps, and now the 33 of Ron Hornaday in front of the field.
To see ya.
It's going to be a good battle for 2nd. They could be 3 wide. Kyle Busch to the bottom. Matt Crafton's going to look down there as well.
Kyle wasn't able to get the power down that time, coming up off of 4. He's going to continue to persist to the bottom of the racetrack. He's going to be just about dead even, coming off of 2 this time.
Matt Crafton says, you better get it done down there, Kyle, because I'm going to fill up that space on the high side.
Creeps up the racetrack just a bit. He tries to take that spot away from Peters. He does. Timothy Peters now tries to stay on the back bumper as the 88 of Matt Crafton looking to the inside of Timothy Peters.
And don't you know, Timothy saying, boy, my day was going so well. I was leading for 60-some laps at him, and now all of a sudden he's in a battle for 3rd.
And it was about 15 laps ago that he came on the radio and said tight in the center fill. The first time he had given any hint that this truck was not perfect all night long. And now he's gone from the lead to having a battle for 3rd on his hands. Crafton to the inside, Ray.
And Adam, after they released Doug George from the 33 truck, the phone started ringing up at KHI. And this weekend, Ernie Cope is calling the shots for Kevin Harvick and the number 33 team. And Ron Hornaday has his 4th crew chief of the year. But they've had a lot of decisions to make about how to move forward with this team. So observing tonight in the background is Kevin Buskirk. And Kevin has been on the radio all weekend listening to the communication between Ron Hornaday and Ernie Cope. And I think there's a very good chance that he is going to be the guy calling the shots for the number 33 next week at Pocono and from there forward.
Yeah, Ernie Cope's been pressed into double duty here the last couple of weeks. He worked with Kevin last week for that win at Gateway, now working with Ron. And the reason he's working with Ron here is because Ron is also driving the 33 Nationwide car tomorrow night. So they wanted Ernie and Ron to be able to work together all weekend.
Don't you think Ron's going to say, can I just have that guy? I really like the way my truck's going right now.
Well, surprisingly, after Ron wins the championship last year, he loses Rick Wren to Kyle Busch Motorsports. And that chemistry then goes away. And they've been trying to find that chemistry once again to get Ron back into victory lane. David Starr, Shelby Howard battling for the 10th spot.
Just about identical lap times that last lap. Shelby gets to the inside. They're side by side entering turn number 1.
Jason White getting this vantage point.
Giving us some great pictures.
Jason's driven straight up through this field all the way up to the back of these 2 trucks right along in the 12th spot. This is your battle for 10th. Jason, I talked to him before the race, and he said, I don't know why I qualified so bad. I got a great truck. My truck, you know how positive he is. He said, I'm gonna be good tonight, I know, but I'm gonna spot him a lot here at the beginning.
He went shopping when he came here to Indianapolis. Had bags and bags of things that he purchased.
I couldn't get over how many bags he was carrying.
What do you do when you go to Indy? You go shopping, apparently, if you're Jason White. Right now, he is racing right behind Shelby Howard in the 2.
You know, we talk about up front starting position being so important. Man, we've already run through 75 laps of this race. You start back in 17th or 18th, it's just really hard to make up that many spots because it's so difficult to pass.
We talked about the pit window being around 120 to 130. We've had a lot of green flag racing now. Ron Hornaday out in front 12 of the 74 laps. Hornaday led 310 of the previous 601 laps run here in the last 3 races. Can he dominate this one? He's looking good out front right now. This Thursday on Speed, our primetime lineup is packed with great original series. At 8, Pink's All Out is all new as it goes 4 wide at the colossal mega track Z-Max Dragway. Then at 9, it's 70 miles of terror in dangerous drives. And at 10, it's a muscle car slugfest on an all-new battle of supercars. Thursday beginning 8 Eastern on Speed.
Rick, I'm telling you, we've had a lot go on here lately. We have a new guy running second, Matt Crafton. Watch this now. This is Kyle Busch, the 18, running second. This is right before we went away to commercial. Matt just drives down to the inside. We've seen him down there a lot. All 4 tires below the yellow line, Mikey.
It looks like he gasses it up right in the center of the turn and runs through the middle faster than these other guys to clear him. Let's see if that's indeed the case. He's going to get to the inside. Kyle points him down there. He rolls to the bottom. Gives it a little bit of gas to help it through the center, and that clears Kyle Busch. And then here comes his teammate, Johnny Sauter, and does the same thing to Kyle.
Yeah, this did happen while we were in commercial break. Johnny's going to work to the inside, get that truck turned, and get a good run straight up off the corner. You see him dip down with his left sides below the yellow line, and away he goes.
Hornaday out in front of the field. He has put Mario Goslin a lap down. Goslin is running in the 14th position, meaning we only have 13 trucks on the lead lap.
But Rick, you asked the question before we went to break, would Hornaday dominate? I don't see it. Matt Crafton's the fastest truck on the track right now. He's closing in on Hornaday.
We've got caution on the racetrack for debris.
All right, that's going to bring some people to pit road. We're going to have some adjustments on how it's going to shake out after this round of pit stops is going to be very interesting.
So we knew that the pit window was going to be around 120 to 130 laps, meaning they could go the rest of the way on a tank of fuel.
Oh, without a doubt. I think this caution flag comes out just at the right time for a lot of people. Then it gives them the option, if they think tires are really worth something, then they can do it maybe with 60, 70 laps to go.
Because of so few drivers on the lead lap right now.
There's your Aaron's Lucky Dog recipient, Mario Goslin in the Tire Monkey truck. See Matt Crafton duck into pit road, as all the leaders will do. You guys are right. They could go from here to the finish. It sets up for a fun finish, though, Phil. If there's a caution flag with 30 or 40 to go, these crew chiefs, these guys on pit road are going to have some decisions to make.
Adam.
And the report for Matt Crafton, running second with a caution came out. I need more forward bite, but I am good in the middle. But hopefully the crew chief not calling for any major changes, maybe just a bit of air pressure, 4 tires and fuel. The first stops of the night coming near lap 90. Ray?
Johnny Sauter on the bottom of your screen saying that he needs a chassis adjustment. They're going to change air pressure. You see the track bar getting raised too. On the top of the screen, Ron Hornaday. It's a 4-tire stop. They had a little bit of a problem on the left front. Hornaday gets his fuel in. He is going to have a good battle down to the end. Todd Bodine right at the end of pit road. They see Matt Crafton coming off pit road second. Then Kyle Busch and Bodine.
Good pit stop by Bodine's crew. Picked up a spot. Johnny Sauter lost a couple.
So Ron Hornaday in front of this field. Matt Crafton, his closest competitor, right behind him on the restart. Coverage of the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series is presented on Speed by the new Expendable, starring Jason Statham, Jet Li, and Sylvester Stallone in theaters everywhere August 13th. Brought to you in part by the AARP Auto and Home Insurance Program from the Hartford. And by Fusion, the 2010 Motor Trend Car of the Year. Get in and drive one. Great crowd on hand here at ORP. Those are some of the fans that are enjoying the grassy knoll there.
You see that sign right in the middle of our screen? It says his first race. How about that?
Race.
Don't you love the way that he got him all decked out too?
He's got the rookie stripe. He's got a rookie stripe.
And he's got on his headphones and his safety goggles. He's ready to go racing, baby.
Green flag back in the air. Ron Hornaday brings us back to the green. Matt Crafton was on the inside. Behind Hornaday, it was the 30 of Todd Bodine. Now Kyle Busch battling with Bodine for the 3rd spot.
Strong move by Kyle Busch.
Strong move by Matt Crafton. Did you see that 1 and 2 he just made? He drove right up beside Hornaday.
You mentioned that he was the fastest truck on the racetrack a lot towards the end, all the way to the bottom again. Remember, everybody with fresh tires right now.
It's going to cost him. I believe he's going to lose second. He'll just say, okay, I gave it a try. It didn't work. I'll settle in here. I know I got a great truck.
A lot of racing still to go. We haven't reached the halfway point yet. Out in front, it's Ron Hornaday. Kyle Busch moves to second. There's a side-by-side battle for the 4th position. Johnny Sauter on the inside, Todd Bodine on the outside.
Johnny's trying to get back one of the spots he lost on pit road. He lost a couple spots. Kyle Busch and Todd Bodine able to pass him on pit road, trying to get one of those spots back right now.
We know how fast that 17 truck behind these two is. That's our pole sitter, Timothy Peters. They got a little bit of contact there in turn 1 and 2.
We had a moment right there, I think, Michael.
Yeah, and Peters was extremely fast on the short haul, and so he needs to make up every spot he can right now while he's got those fresh tires and his truck's good. Looked like maybe he got in the back of Todd, or did Todd and
Johnny Sauter actually slid up and got into the side of these trucks. Let's take another look.
Watch this. You see Johnny down on the inside of the racetrack. There's Todd, the 30 on the outside. Watch Johnny get sideways. He makes a little contact with Todd, but they're able to drive away. Here's another view. Watch, this is going to be great. Watch that 13 truck get a little bit sideways. There he is right there. And the second time he had to chase it, he got into the left rear quarter of Todd and then drove by him.
And the Todd Bodine is extremely lucky he didn't cut a tire. There was a lot of contact right there on that left rear tire. Could have been devastating for our point leader.
We've seen that splitter oftentimes rip the valve stem out of those tires.
You know what I bet Todd Bodine's hoping? He just wants to have a quiet night. He doesn't want to be in the middle of any headlines, and he was almost a headline maker right there when Johnny Sauter got a hold of him.
Todd Bodine right now running in the 5th spot. I think if you said, Todd, I'll give you a top 5, he'll take it.
He's been quietly in the top 5. There's that left rear tire. All the lettering rubbed off of it. Really lucky.
And problems coming off of 2. Mario Goslin involved in this, as well as Narain Karthikeyan.
It's Eric
Almirola is also involved in it. Narain's right in front of these two. There's Narain turned the wrong way. But it's Eric Almirola, Mario Goslin. They were pinched up against the wall.
Contact, left side not as fast.
Boy, look at the 51 of Eric Almirola. Comes in here second in points. This is going to be devastating. A tremendous amount of damage to that Raceway Toyota.
Truck looked a whole lot like that at Iowa when we left, and here we are again, tore all to pieces. And you could see this front end steering's all messed up. He couldn't even make the turn as slow as he was going. Mario Goslin just received the Arians' lucky dog, and now he's tore all to pieces.
Take another look at what just happened.
Well, we've talked about how these trucks converge when they exit the turn. You can go really low in the turn. You can run high, but when you get on the straightaway, momentum brings you together, and it looks like maybe that was the case there.
Yeah, sure was. We're just right up off the corners where the initial contact came.
And something happened with the 60. Obviously, Narain is going backwards when we came to that shot.
Yeah, I'm saying it's all related. All 3 of those trucks somehow came together.
A lot of damage to the 12, a lot of damage to the 51, and the 60 also involved in this incident. Coming out on lap 97 as we're just about to pass the halfway point of this one at ORP. Welcome back to ORP. A not so happy driver. Eric Almirola is out of his truck. And while we were away at break, this is some of the communication he was having.
Watch how angry he is and where he's headed.
He's going to jump out of his truck.
Right there, you don't want anybody telling you you're not going to go speak your mind to the team.
Yeah,
now, obviously, Narain Karthikeyan was involved in the accident. He's still on the racetrack. But he wants to go tell his crew what he thought about what happened.
Yeah. He said, stay here. Yeah. I'm going to go speak my mind.
We couldn't see what started this, but obviously we know now that Narain and Eric came together.
Maybe Mario Goslin was just an innocent bystander in the situation.
Right, what's happening?
Well, we're going to step in here and see if we can get a word with Eric. He's talking it over with Richie Waters. They have some severe damage to the right front on this number 51. And Eric, I know that the evening really didn't start out very good for you guys right from the very beginning. What was the problem with the truck?
We have no idea. It wasn't the same truck that we were third in practice with in the first practice and 6th or 5th in the second practice. I don't know.
What did you have to say to Chad, the crew chief, on the 60?
Oh, just that we're struggling. We're racing for 20th. I mean, I don't know what spot we were racing for, but it was bad. We're a lap down, just trying to work on our truck and get it better. There's 100 laps to go, and the 60 kept running into me every corner. So I mean, this place is as wide as they come for short tracks. Pick a lane.
Thank you.
And as wide as they come, Kyle Busch is forcing the issue with Ron Hornaday up front.
Wasn't wide enough for those 2 guys.
No, there was contact made between Kyle Busch and Ron Hornaday for the lead.
Whoa, did you see that whole Todd Bodine squeezed in too?
Shelby Howard in the middle of a 3-wide situation. Here comes the 4.
Look at
Ricky
Jason
Carmichael on the bottom.
He peeks to the outside. This is why all these fans are here tonight watching this great short track action at ORP. What a great crowd. What a great race.
Johnny Sauter just behind the 18. Kyle Busch trying to get by that 33. of Ron Hornaday early on the restart. Let's take another look.
See him drive down in turn number 3.
What a great job that was for by Kyle Busch at the entrance to that corner, Rick. I think Ron dove in there a little bit quicker than Kyle might have expected. He was able to stay off of him on the entry, but then he got together in the center.
Door to door off that turn, and then Hornaday was able to get in front. Now the battle for second. Johnny Sauter takes the position away from Kyle Busch.
How about that whole shot that Johnny Sauter gets up off the bottom of the racetrack off these corners?
That 13 and 88 both are just really, really strong, able to run through the center and off the turn better than anybody.
Todd Bodine still trying to work his way to the front. Like you said, have just a comfortable evening. Doesn't need anything spectacular.
I think James Buscher's, he's been so close time and time again of getting on the outside of Todd. Todd's running the extreme low line. James the opposite, way up high. Can he get out there now?
James is out there again. Todd has to be careful pulling back up in front of him. He just barely has him clear twice a lap.
There's a bump from Buscher earlier.
There's a situation where Todd had him cleared a little bit. James just gives him a little nudge, said, hey, make sure you have enough room. Like there, didn't really have it any more than just enough.
James just saying, make sure you know you're clear because you almost weren't.
Buscher still looking to the inside of that 30, just in front of them. The 88 of Matt Crafton, Adam.
And he was running second when that caution came out, I don't know, 30 laps or so ago. And now he finds himself in a situation where he's tighter in the early portion of the run. We'll see if it gets better as the run continues like it did on that first run of the night. But right now, Crafton's fourth and fighting a tight race truck.
Adam, you're exactly right. That 88 of Matt Crafton got better and better as that first run wore on until they made their pit stop on lap number 86.
Look at David Starr. He's driven up on the outside of James. James went to the bottom to try to get around Todd, but I could never get around the outside of him. James definitely faster than Todd right now, but now David Starr is going to make James's life more difficult by driving on the outside of him.
Todd Bodine holding a steady line through the turn. James Buscher down to the bottom of the track. How about Dennis Setzer and Brad Sweet back here in the 92 and the 90?
Yeah, no huge surprise for Dennis Setzer to have a top 10 run going right now, but with a new team. Great run for Ricky Benton's brand new team. And Brad Sweet, that team's been around Doug Stringer's team, the great Clips Toyota, and a super run for Brad Sweet here.
Those are two of the 15 trucks that are on the lead lap racing inside the top 10. Is Setzer, Sweet right behind him in 11.
Ron Hornaday, once he gets out front, he starts to check out. Now he's got 0.4 of a second over Johnny Sauter back in the second spot. Kyle Busch is running third, Crafton is fourth, and Todd Bodine in fifth. It's been typical short track racing, side by side, door to door, battling for positions all the way around the racetrack. That is ORP at its finest.
It's Camping World's destination recreation.
You know, when you come to Camping World, there are so many choices when you look at all the RVs that they have on their lot. But for me, I'm a big Class A motorhome fan, and here's why. Check out the beautiful leather on these captain chairs. This is the driver's seat, and as we move around, you've got this great living room space here, an incredibly nicely detailed dining room area, and look how big the space is inside this place. Full-size microwave, kitchen, all around. I can't get over how big the refrigerator is here. Got a freezer up top too, and that's really nice. Bathroom is in here, and then from there, we come out of the bathroom and into the master bedroom. With the sliders out, you've got more than enough ample space in this one, and I'm telling you, it's luxury on 8 wheels. For me, the Four Winds Windsport is a top-notch Class A motorhome.
The Camping World Destination Recreation Sweepstakes is back and better than ever. More prizes and more chances to win. To enter, see the complete prize descriptions and the official rules. Visit campingworld.com/racing. Hornaday under the lights at ORP now has almost a second lead over Johnny Sauter. Welcome back to the AAA Insurance 200 presented on Speed by the Expendables. A caution came out for debris in turn number 3, and a couple trucks came down pit road in your area, Adam.
And a couple of pit stops under the caution. The most notable pole sitter, Timothy Peters, who's been fighting a tight condition. They felt like they had nothing to lose, so he came down at lap 120, 4 tires, fuel. They made a chassis adjustment, also pulled a spring rubber. So they feel like they have made some progress, and now they don't have to pit again. So perhaps this will cycle through into their favor. Mike Skinner also came in. They've been fighting a little bit of everything tonight. They made a track bar adjustment, topped off the fuel tank, but they took no tires in the 5 camp.
Aaron's lucky dog went to the 4 of Ricky Carmichael. So he gets back on the lead lap. That will put 16 on the lead lap now. Welcome back. Green flag goes in the air. Hornaday on the outside. Johnny Sauter on the inside.
Is his teammate going to give him room? Matt Crafton right behind the 33 of Hornaday. Teammates to Johnny Sauter in the 13. He does give him room.
Johnny Sauter slides up the track, but the 88 of Matt Crafton throwing it in there pretty hard. Here comes the 18 of Kyle Busch on the bottom of the track now.
He's got, oh, Kyle got a little bit looser. He is able to get up in line in front of the 31 of James Busher.
Again, a couple trucks on the lead lap came on to pit road, one of those being the 17 of Timothy Peters.
I don't know if these guys aren't done pitting, Phil. They've been on the pit road, got them 4 fresh tires with just around 80 laps to go. He might just stay out the rest of the way.
I think he may too. I think we may see some other guys if we get a caution early enough. I don't think you want to pit if you're up front with 30 laps to go. If you get a caution maybe in another 20 laps, I think they may consider it if they feel like they can't win the race without an adjustment and some tires.
I think the guys in front do come again, and that's going to give Peter some great track position. So great call by Jeff Hensley. They had to do something. They didn't have the truck to win with. They needed to mix it up, and that's exactly what they did. Ray.
Michael, the guys on my end didn't pit at all on that last round there, and that's because they're saving sticker tires, and they really believe the tires are going to make a big difference. I leaned over and asked Kevin Harvick, are you guys done pitting? He said, absolutely not. Tires are going to win this thing even with 30 or 40 to go. Adam?
And Ray, I wouldn't rule out the possibility that we'll see Timothy Peters back on pit road if a certain scenario plays out, but there is no question Jeff Hensley brought him in under caution at lap 20 to do exactly what Michael and Phil were talking about, get off strategy with some of the guys in front of them and hopes it all plays out in their favor.
You know, it was really interesting listening on the radio. We spied on Timothy Peters and Hensley, and he was talking about, Timothy, I need to have better information for you. We need to do a better job in the sunlight during the day than when it turns dark at night. The truck changes a lot, and we missed it here tonight. So when he decided he had missed it, they made a decision to go about it a little bit differently, use some strategy.
And they made a great move already. One of the only few 2 or 3 trucks on the lead left to pit, and he's already back up into the 9th position in the top 10.
James Busher on the right side of your screen trying to get by the 18 of Kyle Busch, and then Todd Bodine
lost a spot to Timothy Peters. Timothy now has 8th, Rick.
Timothy Peters trying to move up toward the front with those fresh tires.
And that's showing you how important those tires are. Don't you think that every other crew chief down there is watching that 17 truck?
And the 17's going to say,
did you hear that?
Heard Hensley say, we ain't stopping again.
Jeff Hensley said, take care of those tires. We ain't stopping again.
He restarted in 13th, and now, as you mentioned, already up to the 8th spot.
You don't think Timothy's thinking, are you sure? I sure do like the way this feels. I need some more of these tires.
I like to hear that paper flapping. That means the stickers on those tires. There's Austin Dillon right now. He's the next driver on the hit parade for Timothy Peters.
You're right, Phil. Crew chiefs along pit road are watching the amazing move Peters is making through the field. That 7th spot he's taken away. He restarted 13th. So he's pretty much just picking them off when he gets to them.
2 and 3 wide. Brad Sweet on the inside. Jason White right in the middle. Dennis Setzer on the outside.
Man, how pretty is that? These 3 trucks filling up this ORP racetrack, battling for a position.
Dennis Setzer holding on to the 10th spot. Jason White 11th. Brad Sweet 12th.
Good strong battle for the 10th position.
Looks like Jason's going to use that bottom of the racetrack and try to get around Setzer, but Dennis is strong on the top.
We've had some long green flag runs. Now we have just 66 laps of racing to go as Hornaday out in front of Sauter by a half a second.
Jason White, he's in the middle right now. There's a little bit of contact with Jason and Dennis Setzer. Remember, he had Brad Sweet to his inside.
He's been persistent, hasn't he? Made a little contact with Dennis. Dennis is able to hold him off.
And guys, while this is going on, Timothy Peters has got another position up to the 6th spot. This is a battle for 4th right here. 18 of Kyle Busch has it. James Buescher running 5th. And behind them, the 17 of Timothy Peters. He's headed their way.
Man, but if the caution flies, all these guys that haven't pitted are going to come in and get those same kind of tires that Timothy's got right now, and he's going to be in trouble.
We'll know that Timothy right now only has about 15 green flag laps on those tires. So if a caution flag were to come out now, I don't think he would be at a huge disadvantage.
Timothy Peters' last lap was a 1/10 of a second faster than Ron Hornaday, who is out in front of this field, not battling with the lap traffic yet.
Well, I'm telling you, I would be terrified with if this race goes much beyond lap 165, lap 170, just about be terrified to give up that track position.
Yeah, but the way that Timothy has moved through these guys in such a quick fashion with only a few number of trucks that are on the lead lap, I want those tires. I want to make a move with 2025 if I have to.
And Phil, that again is how critical these new rules are with the double file restarts. Before, if you were in 15th, you were in row 15 on the outside and had a lot of lap down cars, but a lot different now.
Oh, that's huge. That's absolutely huge. And I'll tell you, it makes it so much of an advantage now to have different strategy and new tires in a situation like this. And remember, this is a racetrack that we've talked about over the years, it being impossible to pass on. We saw Timothy Peters march his way in about 10 laps from 13th to 6th.
Passed on the outside, passed on the inside,
middle.
Wherever they weren't, he was going by.
Austin Dillon's down on the inside of David Starr. These guys are racing for the 7th spot. You can see Todd Bodine, he's caught these two.
Ron Hornaday has almost a second lead over Johnny Sauter. Then it's Matt Crafton, his teammate, just behind him. Kyle Busch is running 4th. James Buescher in the 5th spot. Timothy Peters, David Starr, Austin Dillon, Todd Bodine, and Jason White are your top 10 here at ORP. Back to short track racing for the Camping World Truck Series. Welcome back. Our 5th caution came out when the 63 of Nick Hoffman got turned around. A little contact and pit stops just happening as you see the race off of pit road. And the reason for this caution, we take a look.
Nick got a little bit loose down on the inside of Donnie Lee. And watch, Phil, they make contact. Leah hits the wall, is able to save that truck. And by doing so, he now becomes the Aaron's lucky dog. He went from crash to getting back on the lead lap in the same corner.
Did you see how quick, though, Donnie Lee had turned that truck back to the left when his right rear corner hit the wall? A lot of times, with less experience, that would have swung the right front into the wall. Donnie Lee was already turning it back to the left when that truck made contact with the right rear corner.
This is how the pits happened. As we were in break, we go down to Adam Alexander.
Matt Crafton running 3rd when the caution came out. There was never any doubt if they were going to come down pit road, but hopefully the crew chief said, what do you need? Matt said it's pretty good right now. So what they did, pump up the air pressure, trying to make Matt better on the short run. They did get 4 tires, top off the fuel tank, and Matt feels now they are good for a run, possibly at the Checkers, Ray.
And Adam, for the 33 of Ron Hornaday, absolutely no adjustments, but as you watch the 13, lug nuts fell off again. So Johnny Sauter losing positions on both round of pit stops. He lost 2 on the first one, dropped 4 spots, and he's very, very angry on the radio right now, telling the guys how difficult it is to pass at this racetrack, and he's asking them, please find a way to start helping me on pit road.
Now you gotta believe, Phil, he cannot win this race now. That mistake on pit road took away the chance he had of winning this race. It's just too competitive and too hard to pass.
Remember, Johnny Sauter, as we see our Aaron's lucky dog of Donnie Lee, remember Johnny Sauter qualified 9th. It took him 85 laps at the beginning of this race to get to 3rd. Right now, he's going to restart in about the 8th position, and we have 55 laps left.
Well, race fans, Sunoco's Free Fuel 5000 is back. Just get your Sunoco decal, put it on your car, get spotted, and win. We've got spotters visiting every participating Sunoco, and if we see you with it while you're there filling up, you'll win one of thousands of instant prizes and a shot at the grand prize, 5,000 gallons of Sunoco fuel. For more information, go to GoSunoco.com.
That's a lot of gas.
That is. I want to be at the gas station when that happens. free fuel.
Short track racing taking place here tonight, but how about going to the tricky triangle next week?
Well, it's only 4 times bigger than this track. Yeah, we're going to let these guys stretch it out a little bit. Put that foot down on the floorboard, and I believe they can about go through the tunnel turn at Pocono wide open, and I can't wait to watch it.
And remember, qualifying will be different. This is the first time NASCAR has ever tried this new procedures for the Camping World Truck Series at Pocono.
Yeah, well, I can't wait, really. The qualifying order is going to be based on the final practice speeds. That means the first truck that goes out is going to be the slowest truck from practice. The very last truck is going to be the fastest truck from practice. That means we will not know who's going to be on that pole till the last truck runs.
There will be more than one truck on the racetrack at any given time as well. We could see 3 trucks out there qualifying.
I'm going to say 3 wide in turn 1 right now. We got guys on that second row with new tires, a couple of guys with used tires on the front row. This is going to be big.
Green flag back in the air. Timothy Peters with a great restart. Jason White on the inside. Kyle Busch on the outside of Jason White now. He makes the move for second.
Remember, Timothy Peters and Jason White were 2 of the trucks that stayed on the racetrack.
3 wide coming out of turn 2, and Ron Hornaday thought better of it. He checked up.
Ron's going to pull to the outside of Jason White. Now, is he going to go to the middle?
He wants to be in the middle so bad he can't stand it. He about put it there in the middle of 3 and 4.
And he bounced off the wall coming up at 4.
So a little aggressive coming out of turn number 4, but he's holding on to the 3rd spot now behind Kyle Busch.
Jason White's trying to hold these guys off. We know they all have fresh tires. There's Matt Crafton going by on the outside. There's Austin Dillon racing below the 90 of Brad Sweet, the 30 of Todd Bodine.
There's Johnny Sauter after the lug nuts fell off on pit road. He's marred back in that traffic, and look at all the trucks he'd have to pass to get back to the lead. It's just not going to happen tonight. That's how important every aspect of these races are, especially when you're in the truck series. The races aren't long. You make a mistake, it'll cost you.
If he would have had fresh tires and everybody else in front of him didn't, maybe he had a shot coming from 9th. It's not going to happen.
Todd Bodine continues to run the bottom of the racetrack. Timothy Peters doesn't have as fresh a tires as the 18 of Kyle Busch, trying to hold him off up front. Austin Dillon moving to the inside of the 23 of Jason White.
Austin gets a great run through the center of the corner, not quite able. Yes, he is able to clear Jason White for the 5th spot.
50 laps of racing remain here at ORP. Kyle Busch looking to make the move on the outside of that 17. Ron Hornaday holding on to 3rd. The 88 of Matt Crafton running 4th.
Timothy Peters so far doing a great job. He has about 20 laps more on his tires than the rest of the guys do.
But you called it, Phil. He's been able to maintain. He's sideways though. Kyle Busch clipped him in the back. I think he got a little loose on entry, and Kyle got into the back of him.
How about Hornaday now moves to the inside of Kyle Busch?
Kyle Busch had to check up. Here comes the 33 of Hornaday. Hornaday battling for second on the inside of that 18 of Kyle Busch. Side by side for second, just in front of him, the 17 of Timothy Peters. Now, Hornaday going for the win and the lead.
Slide job by Ron Hornaday.
What a move by Ron Hornaday. Hornaday takes the spot. Could that be the winning move of the night? Well, Kyle Busch might have something to say about it. Here comes Kyle Busch. He takes second away from Timothy Peters.
I'll tell you, Ron Hornaday felt a sense of urgency. 45 laps, 47 laps, clicks by pretty fast here.
And you know, a good truck all night long is that 88. Look at that through the center of the corner. He's so fast. Ron needs to put some gap on that 88. We saw in the long run early in the going. He was there on Ron's bumper when the caution fell. He'll have a chance to do that again.
We saw Ron in the middle of this race. Once he got out front, check out. Now the 81 had problems. David Starr just got into the wall.
He's racing with Johnny Sauter coming up turn number 4.
Need to remember that.
Johnny crowds him a little bit, bounces David off the outside wall. You know, Johnny right now is driving like a man possessed.
Probably got a bit of an attitude. A couple of bad pit stops. Had a truck that he thought he could win the race with, and that chance was taken away right on pit road.
And I don't blame him.
These things are so hard to win.
Ron Hornaday has done it 3 times here at this very racetrack, looking to make it 4, but it would be the first win of the 2010 season for Ron Hornaday if he can hang on. Kyle Busch running in the 2nd spot, just about a truck length behind Hornaday.
He was a tick faster that time than Ron Hornaday. Ron Hornaday is not prone to make very many mistakes, but if he makes one now, Kyle Busch is close enough to pounce on him.
Running in the 3rd spot, Matt Crafton. Timothy Peters has dropped back to 4th. Austin Dillon is running in the 5th spot. Just behind them, the 90 of Brad Sweet.
What about Brad? A couple of races here last night. He ran in both divisions. Just getting his feet wet in the Truck Series. Came to a track that he knows. I'll be darned if he didn't run in the 6th spot. It's a great run.
For the Big Cat is his nickname in the open wheel division.
Johnny Sauter aggressive to the outside of the 30 of Todd Bodine.
Can't make that work. Todd's real quick to close that door. I hope there isn't a foot in it when he tries to close it one of these times.
Austin Dillon now trying to get by Timothy Peters. That's a battle for the 4th position. Austin Dillon's maturity and his great season continues. You mentioned earlier, came off of 4 top 10s in a row and maybe headed towards another one.
We said a rookie on a roll, 7th in the points coming in here. Still got a shot as a rookie, I think, to pull this championship down. Look at what Ron Hornaday is doing tonight. He was 6th in the points. He's dominating the race right now, trying to close on Todd Bodine. Todd's all the way back in the 8th spot, and you can see the 31 is all over the 30.
And the 13 of Johnny Sauter was just able to get by Todd Bodine for that 7th position. Watch as you see Johnny now drives to the inside. Todd also goes to the inside. They're going to make a little bit of contact. Johnny gets in the left rear quarter, and then he's going to jump in the throttle and drive by.
And you better make sure you're able to get some gap on a guy when you do that. You stick around, you might have to pay for that tap.
And don't think that somebody like Johnny Sauter is not going to realize that Todd Bodine is the point leader. He knows that if he wants to get in a shoving match, the penalties should be great, so he takes advantage of that.
Austin Dillon trying to work on that 17 of Timothy Peters. How's Austin doing, Ray?
Doing just fine, Rick. And you know, as I listened to the 3 truck in practice, they really had a lot of problems finding the middle ground. The truck was either really crazy loose or it wouldn't go through the center of the corner. They couldn't get it into the center. But a lot of the help that's gotten this truck better tonight has come from the spotter stand. Andy Houston's been helping Austin roll through the corners, talking to him about his braking points, and has really talked him through this race tonight. And Austin just said a little bit ago, Andy, keep it up. Everything you're telling me has helped this thing get faster and faster.
Look at that move through the center of the corner, able to drive on the bottom of Timothy Peters. Good line for Austin Dillon. I like the way he's going about this. Staying well away from Peters, making sure he doesn't get loose and slide up into him. Going to have to complete that pass because if you look to the outside, here comes Johnny Sauter, and he's on a mission. Austin could lose that spot if he messes around too long.
There's 1 and 2. Ron Hornaday in front of Kyle Busch. Now he's put about 3 truck lengths between the 2 of them. That's 0.4 of a second on the clock. Crafton running 3rd. Peters is 4th. Austin Dillon in 5th. Fuel your passion for racing with Speed Mobile. Get the latest NASCAR news and results as soon as they become available, sent right to your phone. Text NASCAR to Speed 3 for Speed NASCAR text alerts. Beautiful shots of ORP.
Oh, it is. What a great night.
Great crowd on hand here for short track racing.
And look right behind Ron Hornaday. Kyle Busch is just stalking him.
He's not been able to shake him. He's remained about 3 to 5/10 of a second behind ever since about 2 or 3 laps after this restart.
Last time around, Johnny Sauter got around Timothy Peters and was the fastest truck on the track. But Phil, if there's not a caution, look at this deficit. He's over 6 seconds behind.
Yeah, if we don't get a caution flag, I think he's destined to finish about 4th in this race. I don't think there's any way he can make up that distance.
But man, he's got a fast truck, and a little bit of that speed might be from how mad he is.
But I'm telling you, if the caution flag were to come out right now, he's running 4th. He would line up 2nd row outside, which would really almost be like lining up 2nd with the outside as good as it is here.
Austin Dillon, another good, strong run for that young man in the 6th position.
There's Timothy Peters. Timothy has drifted back on those old tires to the 7th position.
Here comes Todd Bodine looking to grab that 7th spot. Todd's certainly doing everything he wants to do. But, you know, we talked about coming into this race. Could Ron Hornaday catch Todd Bodine? He's 261 down going in. Do you know that over the last 14 races last year, that Hornaday outscored Todd Bodine over those races by 378 points? So if you get that 33 truck on a roll, he can get this championship, no doubt.
That's what I told you right now. If the race were to end right now, he's only 208 points behind, which means he would have gained 53 points tonight on Todd.
Again, Ron Hornaday did that last year in historic fashion. 5 wins in a row. He was in a zone, and he was clicking off races one after the other with great finishes, and so those points came right along with it. Todd Bodine coming into this race had a 101-point lead over second place Eric Almirola. Almirola had a bad day. He was behind the wall. Hornaday having a great day. He's out front looking for his first win this season. Welcome back. AAA Insurance 200 presented on speed by the Expendables. Ron Hornaday. He's not expendable, especially on this racetrack.
Inside of 20 laps to go here. Ron Hornaday trying to make it 4 wins at ORP. Nobody else has won 2 here, and he's trying to make it 4.
He won the nationwide race.
Absolutely. He's the only driver here that has won in both divisions at race here, and he's trying to make it 5.
Ray Dunlap.
Well, guys, the truck that he's driving tonight is chassis number 43. Kevin Harvick used this very same truck to go to victory lane earlier this year in Martinsville. But what I think is really impressive, when you look at his last 3 races here, a win, a second, and a win, but what's even more important is the number of laps led. 90 laps, 153, 67, and how many has he clicked off tonight? A big pile of them. Hornaday's been out front in all of those 4 races here at ORP.
Kevin Harvick with a serious look on his face atop the pit box.
Something on fire.
Something's on fire. It may be just rubber, but look. It's under the right rear quarter of that truck.
See the flames.
It's in an area that would lead you to believe it's just a bunch of rubber stacked in there that caught on fire, Phil. But no, now it's starting to burn even more. See some smoke.
There's really nothing in there other than possibly a duct and maybe some rubber that is laid on the rocker panel.
But that can totally heat that right rear tire up. You can see that fire going right on the right rear tire.
Yeah,
there's something going on.
How about this? Can the luck get worse for Ron Hornaday? Could this cause problems with that truck to where he can't get to the finish line?
Well, it's going to burn that right rear tire off. He'll definitely lose performance traction if it keeps burning because it'll get too hot.
It looks like it's out.
I think whatever it was, it looks like it may have fallen out or just been extinguished. It's not as blazing as it was.
It looks like it was just above the exhaust on that right side of that truck. Now we see side-by-side racing. Todd Bodine, Timothy Peters, 7th and 8th.
This is going as good for Todd as he could have hoped for, I think. He's been able to survive a near miss, getting in an accident with his left rear tire getting bashed in. Now he's rebounded and now clawing his way back through these guys. That takes over 7th spot for Todd.
Yeah, that's another 4 points for Todd right there, that pass.
We talked about how vulnerable he's been on these short tracks, but certainly performing tonight.
Timothy Peters trying to get by Lorraine Carthagena. Brad Sweet also making the move back there.
There's David Starr right there, just inside the top 10.
How about the 15 of Johanna Long? I mean, what a performance out of her tonight in her first ever Camping World Truck Series start.
Man, I saw something special in her when she qualified, Phil. She was aggressive with that truck. She qualified 15th, but she got dead sideways down in the turn 3 and 4. Saved the truck, kept going. She was serious about her qualifying lap, and she's just been really performing well tonight. It's good to see 18 years old, getting her first chance, wanting to impress NASCAR so she can run more NASCAR Camping World Truck Series races, and I think she's done just that.
I give her my vote right now. Brad Sweet able to get by Timothy Peters. Brad now moves up to the 8th position, looking for a career best.
Inside 10 laps of racing to go. Ron Hornaday looking for his first win of the season. And he was smoking the field earlier, literally, as he had a fire on the right side of his truck, but that is extinguished, at least we believe so. We haven't seen the flames.
This is probably as large a lead as Ron has enjoyed this entire race. It's about 9/10 of a second right now, almost a full second.
James Busher running back in the 5th spot, Adam.
And we probably haven't talked enough about James here tonight, Rick. You know, he started out the season running full-time in the NASCAR Nationwide Series, so he's only made 8 of the 11 truck starts. Despite that, he's 14th in the sports standings, and he's going for his 4th top 5 finish of the night here this evening. A great qualifying run earlier today, and he's backed it up on track here. 8 laps from another top 5.
And that's Timothy Peters losing the 9th spot from David Starr. You know, he's thinking, Phil, I sure did like it when I had those tires. That was a real good feeling for me. but right now he's given all that back. He was running about the 10th or 11th spot when he came and got those tires, and that's where he is now.
And it's a bit of a gamble. You know, if the caution flag were not to have come out, well, then he would have had the best tires on the racetrack, and he would have had a shot at moving up even farther. But sometimes you roll the dice and it works, and sometimes it doesn't.
And he's falling back to the 10th spot. You can see 11th just off turn 4 there in his mirror. So Shelby Howard will try to go grab that top 10 finish for Kevin Harvick in that 2 truck.
Ron Hornaday bounced off the fence there with 6 laps to go.
6 to go, and Hornaday slaps the wall coming out of turn number 4.
Let's not question his commitment and his desire. It's been a tough season for this team. This track is what he loves. He loves to race at ORP, and he's putting it on them tonight.
He's got a 1.3-second lead over Kyle Busch, who's running in second. Now Kevin Harvick's decided he can't sit any longer. He's going to stand up as he watches this one.
Ernie Cope's still sitting down there, the crew chief tonight.
Those guys had to be nervous when they saw what would be on fire under our truck, but something was.
It had to be a clump of rubber, I would think, or something like that.
That maybe caught a duct or something on fire.
Ray, what was happening down there with the truck?
They didn't say a thing on the radio to Hornaday during that period at all, but I did want to comment on the fact that they have Georgia Boot this week, one of 3 races on the schedule for the season, and we just found out this week that they have now sold out their inventory. They've got sponsorship for this truck for all the remaining races of 2010.
That's good news for the health of the series, and what an amazing crowd we have here tonight at ORP.
How about Ron Hornaday's first wins of the season and where they came? The furthest into the season he's ever gone before tonight was 7th. The 7th race when he went to Mansfield and got that victory in 2006.
This could open the floodgates too. Now Ron Hornaday's going to be on a roll. He just dominated this race here tonight. He's going to go to Pocono, a great venue. We're going to have some qualifying changes, and it's going to be exciting. And I know Ron Hornaday has a little bit of experience at Pocono running in the Cup Series, so he's going to be on go.
2 laps remaining for Ron Hornaday. He's caught up with some of the slower lap traffic. His closest competitor, Kyle Busch, is back over a 1.5 seconds behind him. Now, can it be cruise control for Hornaday, looking for his first win of 2010?
There's the white flag. We won't have a green-white checker tonight. Ron just makes this lap. He'll be our winner. You know, he's got a decision to make, though. Are we going to be able to get him a crew chief by Pocono? What are we going to do about that?
Stay tuned.
Got no pressure from behind.
He'll want to celebrate this before he worries about the next step in his career. 46th time Ron Hornaday has been victorious in the Camping World Truck Series. Ron Hornaday is going to win again at ORP.
Thank you, Rick.
Holding off Kyle Busch, one of the best in the truck series. Ron just put him away late in the going.
Matt Crafton ends up with a great 3rd place finish. Johnny Sauter races his way back to 4th, but it's a case of what might have been, Michael.
4 times Ron Hornaday has been the winner at ORP.
Brad Sweet in 8th, career best for him. Timothy Peters faltered down to 10th spot, held off Shelby Howard late in the going, and Dennis Setzer just puts you on the lead lap, doesn't he? Gets a 12th place finish.
And the winning crew chief standing by with Ray Dunlap.
Well, Ernie Cope gets a victory tonight. Hornaday came on the radio and said, "Thanks for sticking with me." Couldn't have been that hard, right?
He did a great job. I mean, this is my first time being able to run with Ron in a truck, and I mean, he's an awesome truck racer. I mean, he's an awesome race car driver, period. And we had a good, smooth weekend. Everything went good since the time we unloaded, and it was fun.
We saw a little bit of flame underneath the right rear at the end there, Ernie. Were you guys concerned about that?
Yeah, he hit the wall coming with about 5 to go. He hit the wall there coming out forward. But yeah, it concerned me a little bit. I was just worried about cutting down a tire, but it's all good.
All right, these guys will be together again tomorrow night right here for the nationwide race.
That's a good burnout right there, one-handed, smoking them tires all the way around this place. The fans love that, and Ron loves being able to celebrate a victory finally.
And he's done it a lot. 46 times in his career.
And there were a lot of fans here tonight to enjoy this one. Ron Hornaday heads back to Victory Lane at ORP. We'll be there when we return. We knew it was only a matter of time before Ron Hornaday would get back to Victory Lane, and this year it took him 12 races, and now he is in Victory Lane with Ray Dunlap.
Here he comes climbing out of that Georgia Boot Chevrolet. Ron Hornaday gets win number 30 for Kevin Harvick Incorporated. He beats Kyle Busch, his arch nemesis.
Where's the boss?
He's looking for the boss, giving the thumbs up to Kevin Harvick. Ernie Cope, the crew chief, 4th different crew chief of the season. Here's Kevin Harvick. And these guys will roll back over here. Ron, an impressive night. We knew that this is a great track for you, an incredible truck and really domination.
Lights are bright out here. I got to thank Wiley X. Georgia Boots, thank you for coming aboard. I'm wore out. It's a hot day. Kevin Delaney sticking with me. RCR Motors, Goodyear Tires. First of all, we're going to thank the Lord. You've been sticking with us. Stop everybody from talking right now for about my streak. So it's didn't have a dent on there until Kyle came up there on the inside and rubbed us a little bit. But there's Ream, there's VFW, Easy Go, Georgia Boots, you name it. It takes a lot of people, and I am just so happy these guys stick with me. And I get fun tomorrow night too. I get to drive the Kevin's Nationwide car.
In addition to a victory tonight, you also pick up 49 points in the championship case on Todd Bodine.
I'm going to prove you wrong, buddy. I'm going to prove you wrong. It's just a good night. I love this racetrack. Everybody drove me really clean. We had a really fast truck, and paced myself, and Ernie made the right call. Whatever he did, this thing just took off. I really got some good grip up off the corner, and I just can't thank Georgia Boots Chevrolet, everybody. I mean, this is so cool. Kevin Delaney sticking with me. All these guys, they didn't leave the shop until 12:15 yesterday, so they drove all night long and didn't care until about midnight last night. So these guys been working their guts out. This is the truck that Kevin won with at Martinsville. And I think I ran 2nd or 3rd at Nashville, so it's a good piece. I'm glad to the body shop. Thanks, man. This is so cool.
Ron, with about 15 laps to go, we saw some flames under the right rear. Did you smell anything in the truck or have any indication there could be a problem?
No, I see it right there. I had a lot of rear braking and everything, but nah. It was hot in there. I don't know if it was a flame or not, but I don't know what it was. Oh, a piece of paper down the back straight. I remember running it over, so it got hooked up on the exhaust. But Candace, take care of the house. Make sure you don't ruin it. And what a day. I mean, this is so cool. Got one more tomorrow, and hopefully this puts us back on track.
All right, congratulations. Ron Hornaday gets the victory. He'll race tomorrow night in the Nationwide and then load up the motorhome and head for Pocono.
And for a while, Ray, I thought it was going to be Matt Crafton celebrating in victory lane. You had a very good truck tonight, just not meant to be.
Yeah, we had a very good truck. The thing was really, really good on a long run. And we made a 1-pound air pressure adjustment right there on the end and tried to get it to fire off better. It fired off a little bit better, but then it went away a little quicker, and the thing was really good on the long run before. But I mean, can't thank these guys enough. I mean, these guys have worked really hard, same truck last 3 weeks, and we've had body damage, and they've turned it around. I think Menards, Ideal Door, and Chevy. We're making up points slowly but surely, but not a bad run. I mean, I definitely thought we had something there for them on the first 2 runs. I mean, it would run them down on a long run, but just over-adjusted a little bit, my fault.
3rd consecutive top 5 for Crafton, getting closer and closer.
Hot air balloons coming away from the racetrack. I'm not sure. That wasn't under Ron's truck, was it?
That might have been. That might have been what it was. Looked like Ron's fender.
Ron Hornaday, victorious once again in the trucks. The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series is presented on speed by the new movie The Expendables, starring Jason Statham, Jet Li, and Sylvester Stallone, in theaters everywhere August 13th. Brought to you in part by Camping World. The Camping World Destination Recreation Sweepstakes is back and better than ever. Camping World is offering more prizes and more chances to win. Visit campingworld.com and enter. And by Toyota. There was a great crowd on hand for this one. And you take a look at our unofficial point standings. Todd Bodine increases his point lead over Eric Almirola after he had problems. Now, the largest point lead with 13 races to go was 138 back in 2006 by Todd Bodine. He has just increased that mark. Eric Almirola now 177 back. We go trackside to AA.
And for Johnny Sauter, a nice pickup in the points on 2nd place, Eric Almirola. Another top 5, but I know a frustrating evening from where you sit, Johnny.
You know, it's just tough. Proud of Joe Shearer, all the guys at Thorsport building us a good truck. This is one of our best trucks. So just, you know, we struggle in the pits a little bit there. We just got to get better on that. But super proud of all my guys. I just want to, you know, get to come back tomorrow and do it all over again, driving the Baker Curb 27. So just good night for our Sailmaster Curb Record Chevy. I felt like we had something for Ron there and was second, and thought if we made one more adjustment, we could race him from there. We just lost a little bit too much. So all in all, good night for us. I'm not much of a points racer, but I guess third point's better than 15th.
See you tomorrow. Johnny Sauter finishing in the top 5 tonight. Ray?
Well, let's hear from James Busher. Another good run. Are you satisfied with what you got tonight with the top 5?
I'm satisfied that we were at the truck fast enough to be in the top 5. I mean, we ran up around the top 5 all night. I think we were 4th at the best, and then, you know, fell back a little bit and then came back up to 5th and come in 5th for the last pit stop, come out 11th. That wasn't real good for us, and that pretty much set us back. So without any cautions, come back to 5th. I'm satisfied with that. I think we need to get better on our pit stops, and we've been changing up how we do our pit stops back at the shop, how we pit practice and everything, and I think we'll be doing a little extra pit practice this week. But it was a pretty good night for us. You know, started 3rd, finished 5th. Can't really complain, and everything's in one piece. No big dings or dents, and we'll go to Pocono.
All right, James Busher ready to go to Pocono, a track that he has never seen.
Take a look at our unofficial results, brought to you by The Expendables in theaters August 13th. Ron Hornaday finally gets back, I say finally, gets back to victory lane for the 46th time.
Well, great runs for Austin Dillon in 60, keeps his run of top 10s going, and Brad Sweet with his career best finish of 8. Great job by Brad.
You got to tip your hat to that 17 crew. Those guys didn't have the truck they wanted. They took a chance, gambled on the bench strategy. He was running 10th or 11th when he gambled. He finished 10th. Nothing gained, nothing ventured, nothing gained. They had a chance to make something special out of it, though.
See Eric Almirola back in the 31st position. Takes a huge hit in the points. Now 177 behind.
An uphill climb for everyone other than Todd Bodine in the point standings. Ron Hornaday with an impressive run at ORP. Second place was Kyle Busch. We'll hear from him next. Going back to O'Reilly Raceway Park, you see a little lightning off in the distance. Storm about to pass through.
The storm tonight on the racetrack was Ron Hornaday running away from everyone, even Kyle Busch, who finished second with Adam Alexander.
And for Kyle Busch, a career best in the Truck Series at O'Reilly Raceway Park. Hornaday was good tonight. Your thoughts on your run, Kyle?
We were all right. You know, the guys made awesome calls. Eric did a great job making calls to get the thing way better and to get it a second place truck, and that's what we were. We knew that unloading, but I can't thank Toyota Warsaw, M&M's, Flexco, all the guys that work on this truck and made it possible for us tonight. And I think I'm going to take the Toyota wording off this thing. It's a curse. I haven't won with it yet. So if anybody wants to sponsor this thing, put their name on it. I've won with sponsors. Can't win with Toyota on it, so it's coming off.
Nice run tonight.
Thanks.
Next week we head off to Pocono. 2.5-mile racetrack, just a little bit different than this one.
Yeah, quite a bit. And I can't wait for qualifying too. Going to be very, very different. The fastest truck will be the last truck on the racetrack.
We head back trackside to Adam Alexander.
Surprise, surprise, Austin Dillon, our rookie of the race again. 5 consecutive top 10s. You look pretty good tonight.
Yeah, you know, after the way practice went, Stockman did a great job putting a good setup on the truck, and the guys did a good job insulating it, so I wasn't too hot tonight. Feel like I could go 100 more, and good night for Bass Pro Shops and Chevrolet.
And a level playing field for this rookie next week. Everyone making their first start at Pocono when the trucks go there on Saturday.
And as you mentioned, qualifying is going to be different when we go to Pocono.
Check out these points, Rick, and you know, Ron Hornaday makes a big move tonight. I'm looking at Matt Kraft, and they've been solid every week, all the way down to Matt, maybe even Skinner. These guys have a chance for this championship. They're going to have to make a move right now, though, Phil.
Yeah, I think Todd did a great job here. Comes away with a 7th place finish. His average finish in the 2 short track races previous this year was 23rd, so he brought that up. Held serve a little bit and didn't lose a tremendous amount of ground to Ron Hornaday. He was really the guy that really caught him, but he gained so much on the 2nd place truck right now. A huge lead, 177 points.
Todd Bodine still has to falter because right now he has a 177-point lead over second.
That's
just about a full race.
Yes.
One slip, and he's going to invite more people. Like I've said before, a lot of people can get in the championship battle if that 30 does falter, but they look solid, huh?
No one's ever been a repeat winner in the Camping World Truck Series as far as the championship goes. Ron Hornaday is the only one with that opportunity this year. He got to victory lane tonight in ORP. It's the 4th time here.
Next week, the Camping World Truck Series will lay down some new rubber as it makes its inaugural trip to the Poconos Raceway. The strangest track on the circuit, with 3 different turns, adds a new twist to the trucks. What role will the track play in the championship? Chris DeVota hosts the setup, starting at 12:30 p.m. Eastern, followed by flag-to-flag coverage, only on Speed.